Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Jai Shri Ram. Welcome to our next episode in our complete reading of Srimad Valmiki Ramayana. In the previous episode, we saw how Indrajit was killed in the hands of Lakshmana. And now the Rakshasas who are still alive, they keep running, they go back to Ravana and they inform about Indrajit's death. They also inform about Vibhishana's role there because it was Vibhishana who brought Lakshmana to the Nikumbila Yajna, right? Indrajit was performing the Nikumbila Yajna. So after listening to all this, now Ravana breaks down and he loses his consciousness. Then he wakes up after some time and says, "Hey Vibhishana, what did you do? How could you kill your own brother's son?" And then he abuses Vibhishana and then he starts crying about Indrajit. And he says, "Hey Indrajit, I thought you would kill Sri Rama, Lakshmana, Sugriva and everyone. Without killing all of them, you died. Why did you leave all your wives and die?" With this, we can understand that Indrajit also had a lot of wives. Ravana also cries by saying, the way you will be listening the kinkaras of female elephants in Parvata Guhas, similarly today I will be listening to the cryings or the wailings of all the women of the Rajaprasada of Lanka. All of them would be crying today. Oh Bhishana, what did you do? Oh Indrajit, why did you die so early? And then he says all the Devatas, all the Danavas, all the Pannagas, all of them will now start getting emboldened because of your death. Why did you do this? Why did you die? Saying this, he'll cry, he'll fall unconscious, he'll wake up again. Once he wakes up, then he invites all the Rakshasas and he orders, bring out the greatest bow that was given to me by Brahmadeva himself. Till now, there was no one who was able to defeat me. Today, I am going to go for this battle and I am going to defeat Sri Rama, Lakshmana and everyone. But then before that, I have an important task to complete. Saying this, he quickly rushes to Ashokavana with a sword in his hand. The aim was that he would now cut off Sita Ma's head. He says, my son, he tried to trick the Vanaras that he would be killing Sita Ma. Now I will turn it into a reality. I am going to go and kill Sita Ma in person. Now saying this, he will take the sword, he will rush out and he will go near Ashokavana. Sita Ma, who is seeing this, she will realize that Ravana is coming to kill her and her mind will now start thinking of bad things, because that's the nature of the feminine, right? That whenever they see something happening, they quickly think if some of their most dear ones are in danger. So that's how Sita Ma also looked at the situation. She says, oh, this man would have killed Sri Rama, this Ravana would have killed Lakshmana, so he would have killed both of them. Since he has killed both of them, he is now rushing here with a sword to kill me. Oh Manthara, what did you do? Oh Kaikeyi, what did you do? What have you brought on this Raghupura? Now, how can I go back? If I ever go back, how can I show my face to Kausalya? How can I show my face to Sumitra? What has happened? Oh Deva, what is this? What is this happening to me? And all she'll think. In the meantime, one of Ravana's ministers called Supaarsva, he rushes ahead and he stops Ravana from killing Sitama and he says, no, the battle is not over yet. So you should be back, you should be fighting there. He somehow manages to stop Ravana from killing Sitama and he takes Ravana back to the Antahpura. Now Ravana is back in the Antahpura. From there he'll again go to his Sabha Mandapa where he normally meets all the Rakshasas, and there he calls all the Rakshasas. In many places they call this as Ravana's Mula bala. So he calls his entire force and he says, all of you go to war now, and when you are going to this war, the only aim of you should be to isolate SriRamachandra and kill him. You form in such a way that you go and you attack Sri Rama directly. Don't engage with any other Vanaras. This is the mistake our armies have been doing all this while. You guys don't do this mistake. You guys go and attack Sri Ramachandra directly. This is what Ravana tells them. This is a huge army. When we are saying Mula Bala, this is the biggest army of Ravana that he is sending. Imagine 18,000 elephants or an army of that big, of that size. Okay, they have chariots, then they have foot soldiers, then they have Ashvika Bala. All of them are now going out. It's as if the entire Lanka is now coming out for war. That's such huge army that is coming out, and that army is out to meet Sri Ramachandra in the battle, and they start making shot. Because the sheer numbers that they have, they start attacking Vanaras with a lot of ferocity. The Vanaras are on the back foot and they let the army advance into their lines. And here Sri Ramachandra looks at all this. He realizes that Ravana has sent his core force, and which is a very strong force. Now Sri Ramachandra gets into the middle of this army and he starts showing what he is. In Valmiki Maharshi says, when SriRamachandra is fighting like this, the enemies, they were not seeing SriRamachandra, they were seeing only the ends of his dhanush. He was rotating dhanush in a circular fashion and he was firing arrows in every direction. And these Rakshasas, they were now hapless, clueless. They were not able, they were no match for the prowess of Sri Ramachandra. And the way Sri Ramachandra was fighting and the speed with which he was moving across, it was so ferocious that these people were thinking that it was a Sri Rama Chakra that was coming and was killing all the Rakshasas. So that was the only sight that those Rakshasas could see. They were seeing hundreds and thousands and lakhs of Sri Ramachandras on the field. That's the power of the astras that Sri Ramachandra was using. He was using Sammohana astras and all. So everyone was seeing Sri Ramachandra everywhere, and it was as if everyone was doing a hand-to-hand fight with Sri Ramachandra. This was what was happening. The Rakshasas were quickly losing the plot. Sri Ramachandra was like a ferocious lion hunting the deer left, right, center. The entire Vanara Sena, they were not doing anything. They were all watching. They simply were watching the prowess of the greatest archer they ever saw. And Sri Ramachandra was showing why he is considered the greatest archer of his times, and the speed with which he was killing. The Rakshasas did not even realize when they lost the entire battle. I'll just read the shlokas here for context so that you all also realize that I am not exaggerating the numbers here. Esha hanti gajanikam, esha hanti maharadhan, esha hanti saraistikshnai, padatin vajibhis saha, itite rakshasas sarve ramasya sadrusan rane, anyonyam kupita jagnuhu padrusyad raghavasya cha. So the way these Rakshasas were talking to each other, that is told in this shloka. They are saying, one Rakshasa is saying, oh, see, Sri Ramachandra, he is cutting our elephant lines, he is killing our elephant army. And then somebody else says, no, see, he is killing all our Maharadhis, all the warriors on the chariots. And somebody else was saying, no, see, he is killing all the horses, he is fighting with our Ashwasainya. And then somebody will say, no, just see this, he is killing all the foot soldiers of ours. So this way, they were looking Sri Ramachandra everywhere. On one side, he was using Gandharvastra, Sammohanastra. There were thousands and thousands of Sri Ramachandras who were being seen, as I told. So, Anikam dasasahasram radhanam vataram hasam, ashtadas sahasrani kunjaranam tarasvinam, chaturdas sahasrani parohanam chavajinam, purne satasahasre dve Rakshasanam padatinam divasasyashtabhagena sareiragnisikopamaihi hatanyekena ramena rakshasam kamarupinam. How long did Sri Ramachandra fight? He fought for 3 hours. How do we know it's 3 hours? Divasasyashtabhagena. So it was 1/8 of a whole day, which is 24 hours divided by 8 is 3 hours. In 3 hours, Sri Ramachandra killed 10,000 Rathas were destroyed by him, and all the Rathis were killed. So 10,000 Rathis, 18,000 elephants and elephant mounted warriors. So there were 18,000 of them who died. 14,000 warriors were on horsebacks. All of them were killed. 2 lakh foot soldiers also got killed. Te hadasva hatartha shanta vimaditadvijah Abhipetum Purim Lankam Hatasesha Nisacharaha. So after this, all the Rakshas who were left, they quickly ran towards Lanka. And then Sri Ramachandra walked back. And when he was walking back, it was as if Rudra himself finished the job of Pralaya and he is walking back. That's how Sri Ramachandra was. He finished off the entire army there. Imagine 2 lakh foot soldiers getting killed, 14,000 horse mounted men getting killed, 18,000 elephants and the people who were on the mounts of the elephants getting killed, and 10,000 Maharathis getting killed. Can we even imagine the amount of destruction that would have been done? And then he was walking back, Devatas, Gandharvas, Siddhas, Maharshis, all of them were saying Sadhu. Sadhu means great. And they were appreciating Sri Ramachandra for that skill. And then Sri Ramachandra walked back. Then he was looking at some stunned faces. Sugriva, Vibhishana, Hanuman, Jambavanta, Mainda, Divida. Imagine there's a team playing a game and one man just dominates the entire game and comes back, and nobody till then has seen that man performing such things like that. So except for Lakshmana, Sugriva, Vibhishana, Hanuman, Jambavanta, Mainda, Divida, they were all looking at Sri Ramachandra with their jaw dropped. Oh, what is this? What has this man done in just the last 3 hours? Sri Ramachandra looked at all of them and he said, Abravich da Ramaham Sugrivam Pratyanantaram Vibhishanam cha Dharmatma Hanumantam cha Vanaram Jambavantam Harishreshtam Maindam Dvidameva E Dastrabalam Divyam Mamavat Trembakasyava. So this sort of strength, this sort of using of the arrows are possible for only two people, either me or Shambhu, which is Paramashiva himself. So Sri Ramachandra is Vishnu Avatara and Paramashiva is obviously Shiva. So here in a way Valmiki Maharshi is telling us that Sri Ramachandra or Shiva, which essentially means both of them are one and their capabilities are also one. So that's why Sivaya Vishnu Rupaya Sivarupaya Vishnave Sivasya Hridayam Vishnoha Vishnosya Hridayagam Sivaha. I think that's one of the reasons why Sri Ramachandra also compared himself with Rudra or Paramashiva at that particular point of time. Now, all the Rakshasis, see, these Rakshasas got killed, so the camera is now moving into that direction. Now, all these Rakshasis, they all lost their husbands, they lost their sons, they lost their male relatives, right? They started crying. They were crying, Ha Tata, means, oh father, oh son, oh husband, why did you go out today? Why did you go out to war today? Why did you lose your life today? Because all these people were dead and the news came back to all those women. They were all crying. They were all weeping, and in their weeping they say, why did Surpanaka go after Sri Ramachandra? This lady is so old, her face has wrinkles, her skin has wrinkles everywhere. Does she deserve someone as beautiful as Sri Ramachandra? Why did she go? Why did she come back? Why did she inspire this Ravana to go and get Sita here? Why did this Ravana go and get Sita here? This Sita is the Shatru Samharaka, or she is the Rakshasantaka. She is the reason why all of our husbands are dying. Why is this war happening? Then they curse Ravana, they curse their circumstances, they curse everything, and they weep with no end in sight because the deaths have been so painful on all of them. Slowly, after some time, even the dukkha slightly reduces, right, when you weep. So they move to that situation. On the other hand, Ravana, he gets to know about what all he lost that day, the way his entire army got decimated, his Mula balas got decimated, and how Sri Ramachandra showed himself in the war. He realizes that, and then he immediately calls his ministers and says, get ready for war. We'll be doing our final push against Sri Ramachandra. Now, will Ravana succeed? What is he going to do? How is that war going to pan out? All that we'll be seeing in our next episode. Sarve bhavantu sukhiनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् सर्वं श्री साईश्वराः स्वामी चरणारविन्दार्पणमस्तु स्वस्ति.